everybody, and good morning to Trading Within the Box here on January 13th, 2024. Over the weekend here, we're going to go over some new stocks. First of all, this is not a recommendation to buy, hold, sell, or any Forex or futures or equities or options. This is an educational video only. If you'd like to purchase any stocks, options, futures, or Forex, please contact a licensed professional, and they will help you there. Okay, so let's get to it. First of all, we're going to go with American Express. Okay, so there's some new stocks here that we want to go over here, and people were asking me about them, and I wanted to go over weekly first on them just to see where we were at. Okay, so on American Express here, first of all, this is one thing that you always have to look at when you're looking at the weekly chart. First of all, you know you have the support level right down here, okay? So that was in the between, actually, we have the wrong stock up here. American Express, AXP, not AZP, okay? So first of all, I want to show you something. We have support right down here, okay? So when you have support levels on the weekly chart and they get retested, okay, a lot of times they'll get retested sometimes with lighter volume, as it did in this spot right here. Okay, then you had another support level as it came down into this area right here. So these are major spots where they're buying off of, especially on the weekly charts. Okay, and then you have weekly resistance. So always know where your weekly resistance and your weekly support levels are, because those are great starting points for short sells and long positions. Now, as we got into the 187.98, right now it's 182.04 over the weekend here, but as we get into 187.98, what happens? Okay, what happened? It moved into, those are incredible spots. As it moves into it for the first time, you're always going to get the reaction, okay? There's the reaction right there. What happened right in that spot? Okay, it sold off right there, right in that spot. So on a weekly chart, you have a sell signal right there, okay? Now, I'm not saying this is going to, crash or anything like that, but that's a sell signal, okay? And if you look at the volume right there, you have good increasing selling volume. As you went up, look at the volume, how small it was as you got. So that's your indicator. That's how you'll know when something's going to come down, okay? So you know that you have support in this spot right here, okay? Let's say in the 176 range. You could even go to a daily chart, and then you could also see where you're at too. Now, as the stochastic goes down all the way onto the bottom, okay, you want to see if you're going to get this kind of thing. You want to get an M formation and then get the engulfing, like something that looks like that. And then you'll get the bigger move, okay? So that's something that, always looking at that. And that's a great indication of where you're heading, too. Because watch this. Remember how we always say that the magnet volume sticks? Okay, they always come back to them, okay? So you know that you have a support level here at the 179.59, okay? So when that comes back to that range right there, let's say you're short up here, you want to take your profits, okay? Because you could get the bounce, you'll probably get a bounce at one point, and then you'll see from there what you're going to do, okay? You'll get a bounce right there at support. You might get if you get a low high, then you get another engulfing, boom, then you're heading down to 172.75, okay? So that's how you'll know as you're trading those, okay? On Boeing, now let's look at Boeing here. I want to show everybody something here on Boeing, okay? On the weekly chart on Boeing, okay, we had an incredible buy signal on the week of October 30th, okay, right there. We came up support. We had an incredible buy signal. We were still underneath the moving average. We pop our head above the week of November 13th. We go into the resistance of the 242.43. Now, when we were down in this range, we were at 194 and 179. So, that was the week of the buying, okay? Okay. Then we got all the way up here, and we got up into the 265, 266. Actually, the high was 267.54, okay, on Boeing. So you get up and above. Now, what you want to see on a weekly chart here is you get up and above, and then let's say you have support right there, and you want to see it hold. Now, this did not hold. This gapped down, okay? But you do have a huge signal here where you could get a little bit of a reversal of a bounce, okay? I'm not saying it's going to happen right away because this is like a cruise ship the way it moves. You could get a little bit lower, and then you get the flush out of money right here. Then you'll get the bounce. You could even go down to 202.09 on Boeing, okay? So go over to the smaller time frames because that's how you'll manage. The big picture will tell you where you're going on a long-term journey, let's call it. Okay, so now when you had right here, you'll get a little bit of money coming out because you have a break stop pattern right here. You have dojis and your break stop, but you're coming to support here. So you want to see at 215 on a daily chart, 215.19, okay, you're going to look for the bounce, okay? You're going to look for a little bit of covering, okay? So, but the only thing here is you're coming down with harder volume, okay, than the last time. So now as you get into where the buy areas were, okay, on November 29th and November 30th, let's look at the volume. Okay, the volume on those days were 5.42 million shares and 8.73 million shares. Now, as you go into those areas, okay, then on November 20th, you had 11.5 million shares. Now, you got 11.83 and you have 11.2 million shares coming down into this area. So what could happen is you'll get the bounce, you'll come back up. Now, you want to see when you come back up, if you come back with lighter volume, and then boom, you get the engulfing again. You get one of you come up, you get one of those, and then boom, you're straight down again. Then you want to see if you're going to pass this area to go to 201.75. Okay, so how you will know that is always look at the 2-hour chart because the 2-hour chart will react before the daily chart. Okay, and it's a great indicator. Look at the sellers now here. Okay, look at the sellers now. We broke the next support level a little bit. We reached under. That could always happen though, and then you'll look how it reached under here, and then you got the bounce right to the moving average. Now you're far away from the moving average, okay? So you can kind of get this kind of thing, and then you're still in the downtrend here, okay? On Boeing, so that's something that you want to look at as people were asking about Boeing. Let's go back to Cisco. The Cisco Systems, okay, this is on the NASDAQ, okay, so what happened on the weekly chart? Always look at your weekly chart. If you have a plan, you can always write it out. So write out, so as your stock is coming down, say, I have it right here, look at this, I'm coming down for the first time into the support area, okay, so the weekly chart's going to dictate where you are, okay, completely where you are first, okay, in the higher time frames, okay. So look at the last time right there, okay, and look at this bar right here, okay. So that selling bar right there was on November 13th, okay. So and that had a flush out of volume. So now when you get the flush out of volume in the money exchange, the big money exchange right here, okay, look at that candlestick now, the volume stick, okay. Let's go to the volume, okay. So the average volume here was like 76 million shares, okay? You had 176 million shares of exchange of money here, okay? So when you see that, you get a velocity candlestick, especially on a weekly chart. You know you're going to get a change of direction, especially if you're heading to support, okay? So let's say the trade goes on right here at, I don't know, let's say 10 shares, just to put a feeler out, okay? So then you get your bounce, okay? You go to your line chart. You want to see, did I get the retest? Okay, a little bit right there. I get a little bit of a retest. Remember this, I'm still under the moving average, so I'm in a downtrend still. So as it comes up here, you want to see, could it get past this barrier, okay? Now, it had good volume going up, okay? Because as you look at it here when it went up and it took the ride, look at the volume. It was a little lighter, okay? Then it took the ride again, and it was almost about the same, but we had more volume here, okay? So always know where your volume will tell you also about what's going to happen over time. Okay, look at the stochastic heading up. Now that doesn't mean anything. A lot of times when the algorithm is when they cross up, a lot of times you'll get the sell candlestick, okay, first. And that's what's happening here. You come in, you get the sell candlestick first. But let's see if we're going to move up to the next level, okay? Let's go over the 2-hour chart on Cisco Systems. And let's stretch this baby out, okay? Now, what do we got here? We got higher lows on the 2-hour chart. Nice volume coming off support. Profit taking at resistance, okay? Trading within the box is my channel. There it is, right there, okay? That's your box of cheese, okay? That's your piece of cheese that you're going to grab, okay? So your piece of cheese was, let's say, from $49.73 to $50, let's say almost $51, okay? So that's pretty good within 2 or 3 days, okay? A lot of stocks, you can't even make that much money in, 5 months or whatever. So that's why, in trading, you're taking the pieces off, okay? Look at the higher lows here, okay? Capitulation candlestick, okay? Capitulation right there. Boom, they're buying it, they're not selling, okay? Then you come up and now you got the profit taking volume, okay? So that's just a pulling back to the volume, okay, to the support area. Now you want to see here, once it pulls down to the support area at the 20-day moving average, you want to see if you get engulfing. So you want to see if you're going to get engulfing. And then you want to see if you're going to pass this area here. Then if you pass this area, you'll be heading up to this spot right here, okay, possibly in the $51 range, okay, and then 51.27, okay. So that's something that you want to look at on Cisco. Okay. Now, just remember that you're hitting, when you go in, write this down. When you go into these areas, that's why you have volume taking profit right at the 20-day moving average on the weekly chart. That's a resistance, major resistance area. So always know that. When you go back to it, as it was going up, you were right at support on a weekly chart. So when you're at support on a weekly chart, you got great chances of winning, especially if you're above the moving average. Okay, you know that you have a chance of, your probability is going to be a lot higher. Now we just switched over to IBM. Let's go over to IBM. Now IBM was lagging for a very long time. Okay, it was trading, but it was lagging. So look at IBM, and we're doing the weekly because it's the end of the week now. Okay. So again, here it is. Look at the signals. They're giving you the signal right there, okay? The exchange of money right here at a support level, okay? Boom, you get the pop. Now, on a weekly chart, this is a lot more than you think. So you get the pop from 122, and that's 3 weeks to 130, 176, let's say, okay? You come back down, and you retest with lighter volume right into this area. So now you're really looking closely, okay? You're over here in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. It's a lot of patience to wait for that to come back for 5 weeks, okay? Then boom, the buy signal right there. That's a right side of a W, and then you get the run, okay? You go up into resistance and you pull back. Now you're holding, okay? Now you hold, okay? You get the W, the little W right there, okay? Now watch this. Always go to your line chart right there. Look at that gorgeous W right here. You're waiting for it. Boom. The volume's nice. Okay. Let's go back to the candlesticks. Right there. Boom. You get the engulfing on a weekly chart. You're off to the races. Okay. When you're far away from the move average, you're going to move back to it. Okay. Look at here. Now look where we are now. Okay. First of all, January 22nd, the week of January 22nd, you have earnings, okay? So if you've made money in this, as you get up to the earnings, pull the profit, okay? They'll juice it up right before the earnings, okay? So you'll see, let's say your resistance is 174.01, so you could be heading towards that spot. You're already closed higher here, weekly. You have an engulfing candlestick here. So now in my mind, I say, all right, now I don't know for sure, it's not 100%, but I do know that I have increasing volume on the daily chart. Now look at that. Okay. Come off support, heading up to 167.26. Okay. So it's going to probably bang into that area, and you want to see where was the last swing point. Okay. You're going into, so 4.95 million shares yesterday, getting above that area at 5.29. So that's pretty solid. Okay, that's pretty solid going into that spot. So it's almost the same amount of volume, but getting up and above. So with increasing volume day by day here. Okay, so you get nice movements on the daily chart like that. Okay, you'll manage it again on the 2-hour chart. Okay, look at the volume yesterday. Look at the solid volume yesterday. Look at that. Boom. Okay, you get the engulfing on the 2-hour chart on the pre-market. First thing in the morning, right there, boom. Then look at this. Now you're up here. You're a little further away from. So don't be surprised if you pull back a little and then go. Okay. So on IBM, that's something that you want to. That's something you want to put on your list. Let's say, okay. But know where you are. Okay. Know that you do have an engulfing here, but let's say your next resistance level is at 174.35, just be careful because you have earnings right around the corner here, okay? You have earnings right around the corner. So they can juice this up right before the earnings, and a lot of times they do that, okay? So that's something that, that's a stock you want to keep on your list, let's say. Now, Intel, INTC, okay? Now, look at Intel on a weekly chart. Okay, this is a bull run, okay, on Intel. Look at this bull run, and when did this start out? This started out down here on February 27th last winter. Okay, and last winter they pounded this. This was a buying area, but you had trading within the box, so we didn't break out. Okay, and then we broke out a month later, on March 27th, we broke out. Okay. So on Intel, you came back to support. You had the capitulation candlestick, and then now watch what happened here over time on Intel. Okay, you had boom, high lows. You come back to the 20-day moving average. They bought. You come back, they bought again. Come back, they bought again. Now they dropped you a little this week right here. Okay, but look at the volume. Look at the buyers here. I mean, this is textbook bull run, okay, for the time being, not a bull run for years. Okay, this was from last year, but it's a year, right? So you come back, and then you know that you have resistance right there. What happens? You're waiting for it. Boom! You get another one coming up there. You get dojis, another buy signal. Now you get up and above, and you got doji. Okay, so this past week here, we have a doji. So what's going to happen here? Now you come up with strong volume, okay? You come up and you're coming back with lighter volume on a weekly chart. Now you're sitting at the support area. So then you say to yourself, all right, I'm at support on the daily chart too. So now if I get another engulfing like I do here, right there, with good volume, I know I'm off to the races at 51.17 or even maybe 53. Well, the volume's got to be better and start increasing a little bit to go to 53.96, okay? Right now you're at 47.12 on Intel, okay? Now, on a 45-minute chart, let's see what's happening, because let's say you say, all right, now I want this to be one of the stocks I'm going to trade for a week or whatever, you know. So I'm on a 45-minute chart, and there's some sellers in here right now. So right there, okay? I got some sellers in here. Got some sellers in here, and we have some selling volume. The buying volume is not that great right now, but that could change. That's a little bit of a pullback, right? That's a drift back, okay? And that's how it drifted back. Now look at the 2-hour chart and look at the channel, okay? Look at this channel on a 2-hour chart. So you can come up here, you can come back down and test it, or you could hold and start heading the other way and go the other way, and that you'll know as you manage on the small time frame. Right now, there's not as many buyers, but you could drift back to the last, right in there, you're in at 46.64, you got some major support, okay? And you could see it right in front of your eyes, okay? Now on Intel, I want to show you, we got a pennant pattern here, okay? Look at this. We got the squeeze play. And I love these because whichever way they squeeze, it goes nice after that, okay? So we got the pennant, look at the pennant formation, and I call it the squeeze play. So we're in this little spot. Which way are we going to squeeze? Are we going to squeeze up or are we going to squeeze down? And when this breaks up, you know you're going to be off to the races, okay? So, or it could break down. I mean, it could break down to here. That doesn't mean anything, okay? So that's something that you want to keep watching. But the squeeze play, I love because you could see it right there. I love the squeeze play. You want to know, we're going to squeeze up, we're going to squeeze it down. So those are always put them on your list as excellent trades, okay? We have about 8-9 minutes left, J&J. Let's go through this. Still have about 5 or 6 more stocks to go through. Let's go through J&J really fast, and then we'll go through the others. On J&J, okay, so we get the W formation on the weekly chart, okay. We had the buy signal, and now we're heading into. So remember on J&J, so always know that when you have those monster volume sticks, okay, right up in this area right here, okay, where exactly is that? Right here into this candlestick. They're magnets, okay. This is a magnet area, okay, right up in this area right here. That's a magnet area. So as you're coming up into that area, you want to look on the small time frames and see if you're getting higher lows, and if you're getting engulfing, so they keep buying, okay. Right now this is very strong, okay. It's holding sideways and you have good volume. Remember this, you got earnings on January 23rd, okay, and right now you're January 13th, so be careful here on J&J, okay. You got to be very careful. But remember, the monster volume stick is right up here at 167.49 or 167.65, okay. So that could be a magnet right there in that spot. Okay, let's go to Coca-Cola, KO, okay. We got Coca-Cola. Now look at Coca-Cola. Now those are incredible when they came off support here on the weekly chart. Now always flip it. Even if you have to take a screenshot and flip the chart, know where you're going into. Know where you're going into, that you got resistance up in this area, okay. Now you do also have this monster candlestick on December 11th, and once it gets up there, eventually it'll come back to it, okay. You also want to know where your monster candlesticks are the last time it went up, and there was one right where you are now, okay, and there's another one from May 16, 2022. So remember, you're going into those areas right now, okay, with lighter volume, but you could be creeping up into that spot on Coca-Cola, and right now you're nibbling up, okay, nibbling up into these areas, okay. Let's go over to 3M. Okay, 3M. It doesn't matter what the companies do, really. I mean, we're just following what the big guys are doing, what the big institutional money is doing. So we don't really care what these companies actually do. So, obviously you want to be in the best companies also at the same time as you're trading, because you got a lot of volume in those companies. So right here, you're into resistance area, okay? Now on 3M on the weekly chart, look how far away the moving average is, okay? So you're way up there with lighter volume, okay? You're into the supply area, okay? So you're going to see some pulling back here. You got two tweezers on the weekly chart, okay? You have two tweezers. You have a sideways consolidation, okay? Could have distribution trading within the box. You could have distribution right here, okay, for a pullback, okay, because you're way up there into the resistance area, okay. You'll look for it now. Look where the distribution is now, okay. Look. Read the chart, Okay, know where you are. You're up in resistance. You have a sideways consolidation. Look at the sellers. Okay, look at the sellers and look at the buyers. The buyers are all right. You have a little bit here, but they're not there. Look at the sellers in this sideways consolidation. Okay, there they are. Okay, so be very careful here, or if you're that experienced and you want to short it back, okay, you'll time it on the small time frame. Okay, you'll time it on the small time frame. So on 3M, on the 2-hour chart, we do have some sellers in there, okay, at resistance. And you have two indecision candlesticks. So you could get a red one, boom, and come back on 3M. Okay, we don't have that much more time here. Got a few more minutes. Nike. Let's go over to Nike. And now on Nike, look at Nike now. So you're at support. You were at support this past week, okay? Right at a major support level, okay? A major support level right there. And then you could be heading back up into this spot from December 18th, okay? You could head up into that spot. Now, on Nike, you come off support, right? You come off support, but remember, you're still below the moving average here, okay? You're still below the moving average on Nike. On the weekly chart. So you're going to need some kind of confirmation here with, you have a small little W and you maybe want to get a little bit of another retest. So you have the little W, you want to get another W, but then remember you have overhead pressure here. So you don't have a trend change or anything here, anything like that on Nike, okay? So somebody was asking me about to go over Nike, okay? Let's go over a monthly chart on Nike because this person was very concerned about it, and look at the reversal candlestick in December, okay? Now, let's go over the 2-hour chart because we want to see where the buyers and sellers are. And you're going into this area here, okay? Of course, you slammed right into the resistance area right there. Let's see if it holds. Now on the 2-hour chart, you have a trend change, right? As you came down. So let's see, trading within the box, if we can get out of this area. And we get out of this area, then we start heading up. And then we start, trend changing here. Okay. As you know, always go to that weekly stochastic too. Hasn't turned or anything yet. So just watch, be careful there, okay? We're going to go over to Verizon. I got a few more minutes here, okay? So on Verizon, we get the pop-up last week. 2 weeks ago, the week of January 2nd, okay? And then we have more volume of selling going into the resistance area, okay, on Verizon. So on Verizon, you want to look at the daily chart, okay? And you have more sellers than buyers here right now on Verizon, okay? Let's go over to Walmart, the monster, okay? Not like Amazon, but look what we got going on here. Now let's go to a weekly chart. Look at the W formation, right side of the W on Walmart. Okay, going into resistance though. So you're going into resistance area. You have to be careful a little bit. Okay, you do have a W on the weekly chart on Walmart. Okay, and what's happening is look at this. Look at this channel. Okay, so that's a pretty solid channel for like a trade, okay? Not saying that's going to be long term or anything. You got two dojis up in the resistance area, okay? So what are you? You're far away from the moving average. You got two dojis. Let's see. Now, you could hold solid, and then if you head up, that's a break stop pattern, okay? Or now, if you hold here, you could pull back to the support level right there, which is right there. And then you get the engulfing, then you're heading off to 163.96. Okay, always go back to the weekly and know where you are too. Okay, you could go sideways here for a little bit as you go into this resistance area at 162.62 on the weekly. So you got major resistance area, major support level was 157.59 ish. Okay, it's never exact. That's why I say ish. The last one, we're going to go over to Disney. Now Disney. This is something that we waited a long long time for. Okay, this was on in 2021 of March 20th or 21st over there, and that's when it started heading down. Okay, so this has been a long ride down. Okay, with Disney. Okay, so now a lot of covering coming in here from all these shorts. Okay, now look at Disney as on October 30th, we got that huge engulfing. Now we get up and above. Okay, so we did get up and above a few times, and then we failed. These are breakout failures. Okay, breakout failures, they pound them. Okay, breakout failure. Look at the engulfing. Boom. Okay. Now let's see if this is going to be another breakout failure. You'll know by the volume. Look at the volume. It's a little different here, okay? Look at there. Okay, when we had the breakout failure, look at the sellers, how they slammed in. They came in and they slammed in, okay? So we have a little bit of a different situation here. We have a little less selling here, okay? So now if you get an engulfing candlestick that looks like this right here, okay? You'll have a W formation here with the right side higher. So that could be heading up. So how you'll know is you'll go over to the smaller time frames. And right now on a daily chart, they're not buying, okay? This is pulling back, okay? It's not selling off hard, it's just drifting back. It's pulling back. You go to a 2-hour chart and you want to see, excuse me, you want to see what's happening here, okay? You're up and above the moving average. Now you want to see if you hold and then you get engulfing. So if you hold here, you have an engulfing, you have support, you're drifting back, okay? You have a major support level right here. If you get something that looks like this right here, over here, okay? Boom. You'll be heading up to this resistance area like at $92, okay? So that's something that you want to keep watching, okay? With that said, I just want to thank everybody for coming. Have a wonderful weekend. Just wanted to go over some new stocks with you. And if you like my channel, please like, subscribe, share my channel. Have a wonderful weekend.